Hi folks, Lou here to talk about a really useful rule of thumb for improving your understanding of what's happening in the world. It's called Occam's razor. It may be the first thing you should think of when trying to decide whether something is plausible, that is, possibly true or not. The name comes from a medieval William of Occam who made it famous, but it goes back to Aristotle and possibly further. It amounts to, other things being equal, take the simpler reasonable explanation for a phenomenon. Wikipedia, for example, says, among competing hypotheses, the one with the fewest assumptions should be selected. This is the kind of rule that conspiracy theorists never apply, of course. So, Occam's razor is a principle for problem solving, or perhaps for understanding a problem. Put another way, when there are two explanations that might work, choose the one that requires fewer leaps of faith. Cut away the extra complications. That's what the razor is doing. Don't burden failing explanations with ad hoc hypotheses to prevent them from being falsified. For example, the 2020 election was stolen, even though there's no evidence. And the conspiracy theorists would say, we'll straighten it out through the courts. After the courts summarily reject all attempts, the judges are intimidated and cowardly, even the Trump appointees, or the courts are part of the conspiracy. They're adding another hypothesis. And most people would say, sure, or more likely, more simply, take to something with fewer leaps of faith. There isn't any real evidence and the election was not stolen. William of Occam put it as, entities must not be multiplied beyond necessity. Aristotle, in his posterior analytics, said, we may assume the superiority, other things being equal, of the demonstration which derives from fewer postulates or hypotheses. In other words, take the explanation that relies on fewer assumptions generally. But keep in mind H.L. Mencken, a very quotable person, for every complex problem there is an answer that is clear, simple, and wrong. And again, this is the kind of thing that conspiracy theorists do not do. They do not use this rule. Conspiracy theories are elaborate webs of confusion. They multiply hypotheses rather than using the less complicated explanation. Rather than believe some things happen because of ordinary motivation or events or historical trends, they believe someone, some individual or group, is controlling everything, often for bizarre reasons, as in, Bill Gates wants to insert something into you with the COVID vaccine to track you. Why would Bill Gates do that? Especially when we already have trackable smartphones. He doesn't need to do that. It's just dumb. The alleged group itself may be bizarre, as the QAnon notion that Satan-worshipping pedophiles are controlling much of what happens in the USA. Really? Satan worshippers, and most of them pedophiles? It's nonsense. It doesn't make sense as an explanation. This is why conspiracy theories so regularly appear to be wild and crazy nonsense to those who know how the world works and who use Occam's razor. The conspiracy theories are crazy and they're convoluted in their assumptions. Rely on Occam's razor and on logic, and you'll see things more clearly. Thanks for listening.